Singapore is stepping up the fight against climate change with a new coastal protection fund and the appointment of water agency PUB to take charge. The management of water plants will also come under greater scrutiny as part of changes to protect national interests. Isabel Lim with more.
Measures like tidal gates, sea walls and pumping stations are in the pipeline to protect Singapore's coastline, with sea levels projected to rise by nearly a metre by the end of the century. These will come out of a new Coastal and Flood Protection Fund, which has been given an initial injection of $5 billion. But while that sum is a start, $100 billion or more could be needed over 100 years to finance climate adaptation measures. PUB, the newly designated National Coastal Protection Agency, is working on detailed plans about the types of measures needed and their costs.
Given the significant outlay required, the Coastal and Flood Protection Fund will not be the only source of fund. We have to use a combination of funding tools, the Coastal and Flood Protection Fund, borrowing, budget from the government of the day, as well as past reserves for measures such as land reclamation.
Mr. Masagos added that the fund will be ring-fenced under amendments to the Public Utilities Act, which aim to ensure strict oversight and prudent utilization. These also seek to strengthen safeguards for water security. Companies that partner PUB to run water supply plants under what's called the Design, Build, Own and Operate, or DBOO model, will be subject to greater oversight.
A person who becomes a substantial controller or indirect controller of the designated parties that own and operate the DBOO plants will need to notify or seek approval from PUB. This is to ensure that control of DBOO plant rests with individuals or groups whose interests are aligned with the long-term interests of Singapore's water security and the public interest.
Mr. Masagos said there might be a need to ensure diversity in the ownership of these plants, for instance. The operators also cannot be dissolved or terminated without PUB's consent. And authorities will be empowered to issue an order directing the takeover of control in special circumstances. Mr. Masagos cited Highflux, the now insolvent firm that once operated the Tuas Spring desalination plant, as a reminder of the need to have in place safeguards. The amendments also allow PUB to install and maintain 300,000 smart water meters like these in places like homes and raise penalties for offences relating to water tank security.